am the only unbought and unbossed politician. Why should I step back?
This is UNBOUGHT Power Hour with Rasha Mubarak.
Yo,
Hi, Sabaho. Good
sabah al
morning.
khair.
What's up? Good
Nothing,
morning.
nothing much. This is my first time going live on Instagram.
Hey, you're doing a great job so far. Look at that. You got your scenery, you got your background, you got good lighting, you got your AirPods on, and look, we're good to
I'm
go.
I'm ready to go. But how are you, Rasha? Thanks for having me today.
No, thank you so much. I'm super excited to be finally publishing the politics edition with Palestine in America and Najed. It's been a humbling experience as a guest editor. So if we could just jump right into it, talk to us about what Palestine in America is.
Sure,
And yep.
sure. So, Palestine America is a nonprofit journalism organization. What we mainly do is we print quarterly print and digital magazines. Uh, in the last 2 years, we started doing specific issues like the sports edition, politics edition, and this is actually going to be our second politics edition.
Yep.
And this is the second time we tapped a guest editor, and both times super people who have high credentials, people who know what they're talking about. So not me picking and choosing stories about politics. I went and picked someone I thought knows what the hell she's talking about when it comes to politics. There's not much out there that could compete with her knowledge when it comes to the grassroots organizing and who the Palestinians are that are, doing the work. So tapped Russia, said, "Hey, do you want to be a guest editor?" And thank God, alhamdulillah, she said yeah. And we've been working at it for months, and we got a great issue for everybody.
Yes, alhamdulillah. Wait, was Sam'an the first one?
He was the first guest editor. Yeah.
Yo, it's so hard to come after Sam'an. If you're listening, you did such a beautiful job, and it's really hard to come after you. But you've been making it so easy. Super, super amazing experience on my end. I've never done a guest editor on a magazine, and it's super professional, even if we're both Falahi and we have our Falahi tendencies. We're also really excited about this edition because as Palestinians, what does politics even mean in this country, right? Because so many times we find ourselves further marginalized on both sides of the aisle. So we talk a little bit about that in my piece and my letter from the editor, but we wanted to uplift those who got elected who are Palestinian, those who are running for office who are Palestinian, but even something larger than all of us is the people that are in this work, that are in the pockets of movement, that literally put their lives on the line, whether it's grassroots organizing, political strategists, people that do anti-racism work, decolonial work, that will lead to the freedom of the Palestinian people. So we really got excited because Nader and I were like, let's uplift some folks, and then we started to talk about other people doing so much of this work that is not just in politics, but that plays a part because we understand as a community that the electoral process alone won't liberate us. So talking to folks who do work in advocacy, who are human rights lawyers. So really excited. I'm gonna stop there. And Nader, what do you think so far?
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. When I envisioned what we can create, I didn't even expect us to, and to reach this level. We have so many people that we're highlighting, so many people that I had no. This is why I started the magazine. I wanted to learn more about our community, what people are doing. There's so much more to us than what we see on the day to day, on TV, on the news. We're entrenched in any society we go into.
Absolutely.
Palestinians figure out a way to be successful, to have fun while doing it, even with all the circumstances surrounding us. So I got a great chance to learn about a lot of people I had no clue who they were. Some other people I knew a little bit about, but now I know so much more. And basically, I can't wait for our readers to get a copy and to learn about these people. And I saw somebody ask a question about how you can get an issue. there's two ways. You could either subscribe to Palestine in America for $5 a month, and that will guarantee you any issue that we ever publish, you'll get it. Or you could take your chances and just order an individual copy online at PalestineAmerica.com, and hopefully there's enough available for that. I can't guarantee that because we're a small organization and we don't print a million copies, but inshallah everybody will get one. But there's also always going to be availability digitally for $1. You could download any of our previous issues for $1. So that's a way to make sure you get it too. So we made sure everybody's going to be able to get it. And then also we will publish all the pieces online at PalestineAmerica.com. So I know some of the people, like for Palestinians, you should know,
Right.
there's only a few. The way we fit everybody in is we only picked and choose like 2 or 3 questions that we ask each one,
That's right.
like in a Q&A format. The full Q&As will be available online. So online, everybody's going to get a deep dive into each one of these individuals. And in print, it's just going to be a beautiful piece that you're going to have at your home. You can be able to put on your coffee table, let your guests read it, maybe even order one for your friends and family.
Yeah, I have most of my Palestine America. I have the music edition, I have the sports edition, and obviously I have the first politics edition. I think what I really, really, really love about this specifically is that there's another element, another layer of just this kind of work, right? So we're not just asking folks what they think about this political realm that we're living in. We're talking about what they're deeply rooted in. We're talking about what solidarity means to them. We're talking about when it gets so hard, what keeps you going. What Palestinian poet do you refer to on those dark, rainy days when you're really trying to be your unapologetic self? So what I really do love is that we talk to these folks and understand how they process this world, understand how they process this work, and what it is that they're deeply rooted, what started, what obviously a lot of us is just like trying to be free as Palestinians, right? But what really got them into this work. So I think a part of it is being able to establish these relationships, like Nader said, is a lot of us, like, we know we're out there, we know of each other sometimes, but we want to be able to be in relationship with one another so that we can agitate each other to be better and influence those who are in power. So in order for us to establish these relationships is to really like get to know each other. And it feels like, even if you don't know them, you're getting to know them. And there's this relationship there that's inseparable in this work.
Yeah, 100%. And, a lot of our issues, especially in our early, years of being in existence, have been to uplift the work that other Palestinians are doing. That's not to say that in the future we're not going to hold Palestinians accountable, because there are plenty of Palestinians who are not meeting the bare minimum standard of what solidarity is, what being, in this fight together means. So there will be times where our magazine might do a hit piece or something, but this particular issue, what I'm most excited about is how uplifting it is about the people who are actually the people we should be paying attention to. Like, we shouldn't be giving attention to the people who are just using us for their own individual gain. So just to name a few, like Lina Oda, Rima Ahmed, Samir Awaida, Ahmed Abu Znaid, like those are just 4 people that I already knew of Ahmed Abu Znaid, but I didn't know much about Lina before I read her Q&A. I didn't know much about Rima, and I knew somewhat about Samir, but I can't wait for people to learn more about these people and the work that they're doing on the day-to-day.
Yeah, and so I want to name some names too, like let's see, Lubna Kotami, pure brilliance and academic, but also grassroots. Mohammed Khader, who has worked on several political campaigns, talks about the experiences of what it's like being Palestinian and Black in this work. Who else is there? There's so many people. There's
Sharif Zahout, Janan Shadat.
Yes, Mohammed Kurd, Mohammed Khader, and there's just so many people that we're super, super excited about. And we have exclusive interview with Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. and who's continuing to make history, but also Ihmoud, who's the first Palestinian state rep in Colorado. Also, so do you want to talk about any of those, or
Yeah, I mean,
we keep it?
I just want to say, you know, the reason, like, the main reason I went out and I started getting guest editors was because of the range people like you and have. Like, we have, you know, Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, we have Representative Iman Joda, and then we have all of our grassroots workers, people who are working on every type of level. I couldn't have done this without you. Like, I would have just been, not to say like single-minded, but like I'm looking at the things that I see in my purview. Like, I would have just went after like the obvious gets, and you went, and this magazine is so diverse and so full of, you know, information that everybody needs to get with, that I'm just really excited to share with everybody. I can't wait for us to send it to the printers. I can't wait to upload it online for people to download digitally. I even can't wait just to share it to people who don't even want to, you know, support us financially, and just throw everything on the web for people to read, because we can't just keep this to ourselves, you know? So I'm really excited. What's your favorite, you know, piece that we've been able to publish?
Oh my gosh, how, of course. There's so many wonderful pieces. Obviously, Dalal hits it on the nail about the BDS updates, and just like how it is violently showing up locally, state and federally, on so many levels, especially here in Florida. But the Palestinian women or feminist collective.
That's an exciting one too.
Yes. There's some exciting news coming from Palestinian women and femmes across this country, nationally and collectively. And so I don't want to say too much, because our official launch with that is coming up, and it's also so conveniently appropriate as it is published. PIA is the first to be covering the official Palestinian Feminist Collective. So it's going to be the first time it's officially dropped. So we're super excited that that's in it. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about who makes up your team, because just working with Adiba and Shireen, like, obviously brilliant in art and
100%.
Everything, how she made everything look so beautifully pieced together. So
it's crazy, because Shireen, everybody should follow Shireen at Shireen.creates on Instagram. She's amazing. And she's been,
Allah yahmiha,
mashallah. She's been doing our covers for a long time. At least this is our 10th issue, which is crazy. I keep forgetting that, which is a big deal
by
to
the
me.
way. That
Thank
is
you.
Huge. Like,
Huge, right?
I feel honored to be.
I know,
like,
I didn't even realize that. You should feel honored.
we should have made one of the signs like 10 or something at 10 issue, but
yeah.
No.
There should be some kind of graphic on the magazine.
Yeah,
there, right?
yeah.
Well, I'll hit up Shireen after this. But
Shireen's probably like, y'all chill, sit down.
Shut up, guys.
Yeah.
But Shireen, she's amazing. She's been doing our covers for so long, and she designed this cover. Go check it out on Unbought Power's Instagram, Palestine America's Instagram. That was designed by Shireen. She is amazing. And so Shireen, you know, I literally, all I do is I give her the stories, and then I tell her, maybe I want this one here, this one here, this one here. But at the end of the day, just do what you want. And every single time she blows me away. And this issue is no exception. And every issue she tops it. So if you know about any of our issues, our last couple covers have been amazing. Our last couple designs have been amazing. She kicked ass on this one again. So
Absolutely
even
beautiful.
Like the way she, you know, like the colors and everything, but there's also so many other people that I can't forget about. Of course, my wife, Adiba.
Yes, the team Adiba. Woo woo.
She has been basically the managing editor for, you know, the majority of the existence of Palestine in America. Before we were married and engaged, she was probably one of the first people to believe in Palestine in America, and she really wanted to help out. So she's been Palestine America's rock, helping out, making sure issues get printed on time, make sure we get advertisements for the issue, make sure that, you know, writers are submitting their work. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that she does. And she's even, you know what? I kind of have to take that back. She might have been our first guest editor, kind of. She wrote a letter from the editor for our arts and culture issue with the
That
cover
is
was
so cool.
Rami Kashu, and it actually worked out perfectly because she wrote about her thobe that she wore for our henna or whatever party she wore it for. But so she might have been the first. So, but anyway, she was definitely the first person to believe in us. And then there's my sister Sanat. She's on our board. There's Hilal Jouaid. He is our vice president. He's also been on our team since almost day one. And you mentioned Dalal Helou. She wrote the BDS story. She's amazing, and she's written for us in the past, but I think this is her first piece being printed in our print issue. And then somebody that I can't forget, the only non-Palestinian working on this issue, who consistently works on all of our issues because honestly, he's a great editor, is Doug.
Doug tearing up my work, yo.
Trust me, me too. Respectfully. He does it respectfully, and honestly, and we're all better.
I love it.
Because he's on point and he's very thorough and he's been doing it for a long time. And I definitely like right now, he's like, hey man, I got other stuff I'm doing. Do you mind if I, edit this other day? And I'm like, no, dude, we're on deadline. He's like, I got you.
Thanks, Doug. We appreciate you. Not like, it feels good to like that. The pressure's not on me no more. Sorry, Doug.
No, it's on Doug now. Let us know how we can make this perfect, Doug, please. So
can you tell us a little bit more? I know like this is like us, but usually you're interviewing the guest editor, but like I think just like a little bit like how you started Palestine in America. I should ask you the questions we ask Palestinians you should know. Like why Palestine in America magazine, and like is it and what do you hope to achieve from it, this work?
Right.
What does a free world mean to you?
All right, let me go one by one on this. So why Palestine in America? I'll try to keep the story a little short, but my dream, and it's still my dream, is to be a beat reporter for the Chicago Bulls or the Chicago Cubs, or the Chicago Bears, my three favorite teams.
What about the Orlando Magic?
Honestly, I don't care. Put me anywhere in the NBA as a beat writer. I'll take that job. I'll take it any day. I'll quit my insurance gig and I'll hop on the next flight to be an NBA reporter. But all too familiar to Palestinians, I experienced racism in the newsroom. I was the sports editor at my college newspaper. I was en route on my dream. I was en route to that. I was covering Northwestern athletics, so I was at their football games or basketball games. I was a beat reporter for our newspaper. And then a story came to my attention about two Palestinian soccer players who were walking home in the West Bank, and they were attacked by Israeli soldiers and Israeli dogs, and then they were paralyzed and can't play sports anymore. So I wrote my weekly column about that. And the two Zionist advisors on the paper both were like, hey, we can't confirm this story actually happened, even though I had confirmed it from two journalists that were international. They were like, unless we see it in Haaretz, which is an Israeli newspaper, then it didn't happen, basically, is what they were telling me. And I fought for it, and they cut my article that week. That week, they ended up putting an advertisement over my column because they wouldn't publish my piece.
Right.
Wow. And then the next Monday, when I came into the newsroom, I found a clip out, like a cutout of a Haaretz article from the week before of that story. And so they allowed me to publish it. But as I was publishing it, these two Zionist advisors on the newspaper, one of them was a Pulitzer Prize winning Jeff Lyon from the Chicago Tribune, Pulitzer Prize winner. Everybody respected him. I respected him. He was one of my favorite professors until I found out he was a Zionist. And then he was in Boston, and we're in Chicago. He was in Boston on some trip, and he would call in at 11 because we would print on Friday night at midnight sometimes, or 2 a.m. Saturday morning. And he calls in and he's like, I have to see his, scan me his article every edit. And we fought on whether or not having the occupied West Bank in my article was accurate, even though under international law it's the occupied West Bank. He
Right.
didn't want it to say occupied. Anyway, luckily the editor-in-chief at the time, Heather Shoring, an amazing journalist who has actually written for Palestine America, stood
Nice.
up for me, and the piece was published without, you know, like any of his, you know,
Edits
biases.
or revisions. And like,
Well,
did
he got to
anybody
edit
else
it.
have to go through that process of like just like
No, nobody ever on any story had that much to do.
wow.
And everybody in the newsroom saw it. Like we were all so close knit. Like
So
everybody
you
in that
had
newsroom.
support internally, like,
Yeah, like
but they
people
couldn't
like,
really.
you
People are like, well, I'm not trying to lose
know,
my job. Yeah.
or even lose this connection. He's a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist. They all want to use him as a reference once they graduate. We're in the earliest stages of journalism. So that experience caused me to, I literally, after that experience, I was like, all right, I was very selfish before that. I was like, I don't want to do anything that has to do with Palestine because it's always, I'm too emotional about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny. I was basically
Same.
forced into it. And so, like, when that experience happened, I was like, sports can wait. Palestine can't. I really want to do something where I uplift our people and then also give opportunity to Palestinian journalists that want to write about Palestine that we're not going to censor you. Okay.
Yeah.
So
this actually reminds me of our conversation with Ahmed Abou-Sned when we talked about what a free world means to us, is being able to pursue the dreams that we wanted as a child, where most like you wanting to be a sports reporter, Ahmed a filmmaker, right? Like and it's just like we found ourselves in a place where, you know, we felt that this was our calling and this is where we need to be for the liberation of our people, you know. So I can, inshallah, like, you get your dream job, you deserve to be able to pursue your happiness. And I think for a lot of us, it feels unsafe to stop or to commit to things that bring us joy. And it's totally okay for us to have that, to experience joy. And if there's this guilt factor that we feel. And I think that
100%.
It's a hard balance of how do we continue to do this work that is bone deep, but still wanting to pursue our dreams. And I think a free world is exactly that, being able to like manifest and dream, and be able to follow that. But it's
no, 100%. And a lot of us can't do that. And we talked to people for the podcast, like you said, Ahmed Abou-Sned, we had a great conversation with him.
Yeah.
He talked about what his dreams were with us, and people can, you know, go listen to that episode to learn more about him. But I felt that when he was talking about that, I wholeheartedly felt him, because I was like, man, I had a dream. And you know what? And not to say that Palestine in America hasn't been everything I ever wanted it to be. I have a real child now, but I always joke that this is my firstborn, and Adiba gets really mad about it. But this was my first thing that I created, and I'm very proud of it. And now I'm just so happy to share that with everybody else. I'm happy to, you know what I mean? Like, bring on guest editors. Like, from the outside, it might look like, oh, looks like he's trying to not work so hard. No, I'm trying to, you know, pass the torch.
You working hard.
Trust me. I'm working on other issues that I'm trying to find other new guest editors to try and like meet your.
Are you gonna tell us what's upcoming next? Because, you know, I do think, just to like, not to go back but too much, but the hit pieces about and I think that's something Nader and I talked about, especially in this issue, is that we wanted to talk about accountability within, you know, Muslim spaces that use Palestine as a way to climb up the political ladder, and to say that we're not disposable, we're not these bargaining chips, and to talk about also Palestinians who are throwing their own people under the bus when they're running in a campaign. So I think that we can still probably, I think it's important to have those hit pieces, but like Nader and I were saying, is that we wanted to provide like a healing space in this magazine, and being like, yo, you know what? This new administration, but same fight, right? But what does that mean? But also know that there's people throwing down for you. There's people throwing down for Black and Brown and Indigenous communities, inclusive of Palestine. And what does that look like? But also like your PIA story, Ned, that reminds me of my Unbought Power story, just because, I was working in different organizations. I started with Arab and Muslim and then social justice orgs that, did freedom work. And I just remember being marginalized in the social justice spaces. So when I wanted to do unbought powers, because I don't want to forfeit my rights or values. I can't stop being Palestinian, nor would I ever choose to. But and being able to have the discretion to still be able to do this work without forfeiting my values and my belief system and my freedom and my humanity. So for my people. So it sounds like there's so many just different iterations of what Palestinians and Palestine and America go through. And some people in this issue actually talk about that. One of the questions we pose, you'll hear from folks, and like Nader said, they're full interviews. Some of them have podcasts that will be released on PIA's Instagram and YouTube, but their full publication of their interview would be on the website. But one of the questions is, oftentimes Palestinians are marginalized everywhere. How do you deal with that? What has your experience been like? So, because there is a lot of young people that are involved in this work, that are experiencing this kind of racism, right? Like for being Palestinian or having a social media pop up that haunts them from when they were 12 years old. Like, so these are, I definitely think that there can be hit pieces. I hope we can still work on those.
Oh no, 100%. And the thing is, like, it's so hard when you have 16 pages to dedicate any of that space to someone who doesn't deserve the space, doesn't deserve to be highlighted. But we do have to inform our readers and our people of the people to be wary of, the people to not put your support behind, not to waste your energy with, because they're just blood-sucking evil people. But to get back, you asked, what am I working on? I don't want to give out too much information, but I am hoping this year to publish a fashion issue.
Yay! Look at you. Did you notice my Zanad?
I did notice. Maybe a film issue.
That would be fire.
And definitely I'm thinking of a cooking issue, a food issue. Yo,
I'm so excited for all of these things.
So these things that's where my head is rolling right now. I'm working on a few of these things I'm trying to put into motion. So
fashion lines in the DMs. Yes.
So the good thing is I'm very aware of a lot of Palestinian foodies. I kind of have some people in mind that I'm thinking of for that guest editor role, but that might be a little bit further down the line, because right now I am working on the fashion issue.
Yo, the fashion issue is going to be straight fire.
The guest editor has already been selected.
Oh! I want to end the live, so I'll be like, who is it?
Are you going to have the scoop here? No. But
on Unbought Power.
But what was your second question after why I started Palestine in America?
I was asking you like what a free world was to you, but
to me, I think you already said that. Basically, we all could do our dreams without worrying about a free Palestine. You know what I mean? Without worrying about
top secret scope. Adib, I'm gonna text you.
You meant scoop.
Scoop. Oh yeah.
But yeah, basically, I really hope one day we could all just, follow our dreams. There was a question in the music edition that some hand posed to everybody. It was like, in a free Palestine, we're having a party. What song are you playing at that party? You can DJ your set. What song are you playing? And that's what I imagine in a free world, is that we're all in Palestine having a great fire, a great festival, great time, drinking shay. Man, Adiba's just doing all the typos right now.
I tried to make it 2021 like I used to be good before 2019 about like just like fixing my typos in text, and then I just like went crazy and just let typos happen.
Let them happen.
2021, I was like, I'm gonna fix my typos, and it's just the same thing.
Yeah, no. It's duck all the way. Duck, 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 duck.
Yeah, but I was I wanted to ask you about what were you just saying before that? I feel like I had a question.
We were talking about you know what a free
Oh,
world
you
would
asked
be.
a Sam'an's question in
Mhm.
the music edition. So listen, it reminds me, Ahmed and I, we have that Palestine on my Mind Clubhouse club.
Yeah.
So like we had this room and it was minsef or makluba.
No, you don't want to be insulted right now. Just don't even
Yo,
bring it up. I heard your minsef. No, bye.
I love both. Listen,
I love both too, but if you had to pick one,
it's smash.
Makluba is superior, period.
But makluba
End
is
of
like for
conversation.
smaller, home, intimate. You have to make like 2 or 3.
No.
And you have to make other sides. But listen,
If you thought I was passionate about sports, when I saw your clubhouse, I couldn't enter it because I didn't want to be like against you in public. Like, come on.
No, but I was trying to just let people, debate. But what the funniest thing was, the last person that like gave their like opinion, they straight up said, the sister was like, oh, okay. So if we're living in a free Palestine, are we gonna have mensef or makluba? And we're all like, oh, she's like, we're gonna have mensef because it is deeply rooted in this revolutionary fight. And we're all like,
I disagree.
The mensef is a revolutionary food. It is like
Listen. Mensef is for funerals. So it's not for a happy occasion.
It's for everything.
Listen, what do you have?
Talabuha, there's mensef.
La samah Allah, someone dies. What do we bring to the we bring mensef. We don't bring makluba. Makluba is
because
farah,
mensef
happiness.
Mensef is community. Anyways, it just reminded me of that. And we're not trying to like we're gonna piss off some. Yeah, but yeah.
Hey, but hold on. I saw a comment that someone said, and I agree with this 100%. Makluba is Palestinian, Mensef is Jordanian. Khalas. Let's leave it at that.
بلشنا يا جماعة الخير. Wait, what is? I can't keep up with the comments. There is a troll on here somewhere, but like I was really confused.
I've been ignoring him.
I know. I was confused.
them.
I was confused. I was like, wait, what? But okay. I just want to say, y'all, make sure you visit Palestine America. Wait, what's the easiest way to subscribe to PIA and order and all of that? I know you said it earlier, but
just go to PalestineAmerica.com. When you go to that webpage, the first thing you'll see is a direction to subscribe. And so you click that button, it'll take you to all of our magazines. You can either subscribe or purchase them individually. Each individual issue is $5. And then the digital issues are $1 each. So technically, to be honest with you, it's probably cheaper to do it individually than to subscribe. However, subscribing means you support us.
I support PIA. But I think that I'm really, really excited. So make sure you're following Palestine America's Instagram. And Nader has this like way of dropping this amazing news, but he'll also be dropping individual interviews, whether they have podcasts or highlighting some of their interview questions. So just make sure you're following PIA Instagram for when this drops. And obviously, we're all going to be following it after Politics in Addition because we want to know who's the guest editor for the fashion. And I want to make sure my mom gets in on the cooking one, like, all these things. But I'm really excited. Anything else that we want to tell them but not tell them about this issue? I want to commit on this Instagram live pic that we do some hit pieces about some important things that have impacted
100%.
some of the.
Oh.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, Palestine in America, we already got the scoop about the feminism collective, and so we got to do more scoops. That's a
Right.
positive scoop. Now we
Or
need some we
ice
need to.
cream scopes.
Oh, it's the scopes. I need more scopes. Um, but what I would like to say is, thanks for being the guest editor of this issue. Please, please, please,
Wait, it's in my heart.
and I don't want us to close out this Instagram live without me asking you as a journalist to tell us more about yourself, because there's people in this live I feel like that are like part of PIA's readership that don't know much about
I'm
you.
sure
You
most
mentioned
of
a
them
little
are
bit.
PIA.
You mentioned tell people more about what you've done and what you're currently doing, because you've been on TV,
Bah,
fighting for rights in Florida. I see you on TV, dude. Come on. Even though
I've
it's
been
local television, it's still television. You're on television. You work for Rashida. You know what I mean? You have your own thing going on. Tell us more about you.
yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, so I have Unbought Power Unbought Power. You are tuning into Unbought Power Hour / Palestine America exclusive breaking news. So Unbought Power is my LLC. Again, actually on March 4th is 1 year since I've officially launched it. So
Mabruk.
like this is all like mashallah, like a good IG live. Like just the way we're dropping this PIA politics edition, the Palestinian feminist collectives coming out, and we're also celebrating Women's History Month and the 1 year of Unbought Power, and we're ending Black History Month today. But Black History Month is every month, and the Black and Palestinian solidarity is not new. But anyways, Unbought Power it talks does a lot of work where I have the discretion to be political strategist or consulting for candidates that I believe don't leave any community behind. So yes, Congressman Rashida Tlaib is one of my clients. I'm her finance director. We fundraise for her. So if you're interested in having a fundraiser, please slide into my DMs. I like those kinds of DMs. I also do grassroots organizing with different social justice orgs. I provide trainings, whether that's media trainings, grassroots organizing, leadership trainings, and really how to show up in this movement and understanding that every aspect of it is important, whether that's electoral work, whether that's coalition building, protest demonstrations, how we show up in the media rooms, and how when it makes sense to have being in the courtrooms and legal cases. So I absolutely am trying to be unbought in this work because as a Palestinian, as a woman, I've been marginalized and asked to, there's been whole strategy plans of how to get me out of a building because they're fearful that a picture of a candidate and I will go viral just for the mere fact that I'm pro BDS and I'm Palestinian, and people do not want to affiliate or think that they're going to lose an election if there is that kind of association. And these are people that claim to be progressive or share values. So these are real things that Palestinians, this is not exclusive to me. This is what a lot of Palestinian advocates and activists are going through across this country and globally. And so really creating spaces to where, we're not going to stop doing this work because people think of us as a bargaining chip and use us, right? We're going to continue doing this work because we believe in it and we believe in the freedom and liberation of all people. That's inclusive of course, of the Palestinian people, and understanding that when Black lives are free, Palestinians are free, and really understanding the different racist systems and oppressive systems and how they intersect here. Of course, uplifting the indigenous people, just the immigration fight from the walls, like just understanding how that all connects with one another, and really uplifting all marginalized and disenfranchised people and learning how to show up for each other. And it's not just, a part of it is media or, Instagram lives or whatever, but that's only to uplift the work that's already happening on the ground and what collective liberation really looks like. So that's really what we try to do at Unbought Power. And, it's not easy, but I think if it if it's not if it's worth it, it's not going to be easy. So obviously to be
Hmm.
free is going to be worth it. So
And
yeah.
I think you did a really good job right there of introducing yourself and really telling people why I chose you as this guest editor. But if you really want to see why she was our guest editor and why she's overqualified for what she did for us at Palestine in America,
Yeah.
stay tuned,
Exactly.
order an issue, you'll read
Yes.
her letter from the editor, the powerful stuff there, all the content she curated, okay? The work she put in, the hours she put in, it all shows
All
up
did
on the
that.
pages. So make sure you and then on top of that, she did a couple podcast episodes with me for Palestine in America, and we're a great co-host together.
Yes, we are. As
So
you can see, hello, mashallah.
mhm. So make sure you go check all that out because I guarantee you, after you're done with the politics edition, Russia's going to be your favorite politics person.
Hey.
So please go to PalestineInAmerica.com, check out Unbought Power, support both of our organizations because this is just the beginning. And I can't wait
That's
to work
right.
with you again, Russia.
I hope you still gonna work with me after Adibo, y'all still gonna work with me after, right? No, but
Hey, I
we
kept Adiba on the team all this time. You know what
I
I'm saying?
love when we get on the call and it's like Shadeen, Adiba, Rasha, Nader, or like
I always feel outnumbered.
I'm like woman power. We got each other. And Janine, right? But
Yeah, and Janine too.
I actually, yes, thank you so much. And now that we still have some podcast interviews to set up,
Yeah, we
so
do. I can't wait.
um, so make sure you all subscribe to Palestine in America and Unbought Power. And thank you, Nader. This is the work that you're doing through Palestine in America. Is so critical, so important, so needed, and for you to anchor it and take time out of your life to make this happen is not just uplifting and centering and helping us all be free, but it humanizes Palestinians where you see that happen across the world where people forget our humanity and you are able to bring that back to the drawing boards and in these creative ways and uplifting our culture and our resistance. So shout out to Palestine in America. Allah yahmikum and see y'all soon. Bye.